Stop. Imagine. A spotlight blinds you, 2,000 people are waiting for you to open your mouth. You're holding the microphone, your hands are shaking, and the silence becomes suffocating. Why are you freezing? Because you're letting your doubt dictate your worth. Listen to me closely. No one is born with armor. Confidence isn't something you receive. It's something you hijack. Years ago, I was a ghost. A guest came over. I vanished, terrified of saying something stupid, terrified of existing. I remember a day back in college. I knew the professor made a mistake in a calculation. I had the proof right in front of me, but my heart pounded so hard I felt dizzy. I sat back down without saying a word. 2 minutes later, some guy who knew nothing but had plenty of swagger pointed out the error and took all the credit. That day I realized that talent without confidence is a Ferrari engine in a scooter's body. It's useless. By the way, tell me in the comments, what's that one situation where you knew you were right, but you stayed silent? Let's exercise that together. That's why you have to kill reflection with action. If a professor asks a question, answer within 3 seconds. If you wait for the fourth, your brain will invent a catastrophe. Confidence hates thinking. One day I forced an ultra-timid friend to order a pizza over the phone while he was in a total panic. He stuttered, he struggled, but when he hung up, he had the craziest smile on his face. He had survived. It's those small wins that blow up big doubts. And watch your words, because your brain is always eavesdropping. Bruce Lee used to say, "Never speak badly about yourself, even as a joke." Your subconscious has no sense of humor. My opinion on this is radical. Self-deprecation is a form of cowardice. It's the easy excuse to avoid trying. Stop apologizing for being there. Sorry to bother you. Sorry for having an opinion. Stop. Every useless sorry gives others permission to walk all over you. Own your presence. People will take you seriously the day you take yourself seriously. Drop a like if you decide, starting today, to stop apologizing for existing. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to some guy's chapter 20 on Instagram. You see his success, not his sleepless nights. Your only competition is the mirror, and it starts with your body. If you slouch and avoid eye contact, you're sending out prey signals. Straighten up. Claim your space. Your look is your shield. It's not about luxury, it's about self-respect. When you make the effort to look sharp, you're telling your mind, today I am worth something. But be careful, because this is where most people trip up. They think confidence means no longer being afraid. That's a lie. Fear will always be there lurking in a corner. The difference between the one who wins and the one who stays on the bench is what they do with that fear. My opinion? Fear is a compass, not a wall. If something scares you, unless it's life-threatening, obviously, that is exactly where you need to go. It's the signal that your ego is cracking to let a better version of yourself through. I remember once, I had a massive presentation. I'd worked on it for weeks. On the big day, I stepped onto the stage and then total blackout, nothing. The silence lasted maybe 10 seconds, but in my head, it was an eternity. I saw people whispering, some were smirking. In that moment, I had two choices: apologize and run away, or own the void. I took a deep breath and said, "Sorry, I had a glitch, let's restart." And I kept going. People didn't remember the glitch. They remembered that I didn't crumble. Failure only exists if you decide it's final. Otherwise, it's just calibration. And let's talk for 2 seconds about the judgment of others. We make a mountain out of it, but look at the truth. Everyone is too busy stressing over their own image to care about yours. Do you remember the last time someone stuttered in front of you? Probably not. You forgot it in 2 minutes. So why do you think the whole world is keeping a ledger of your mistakes? The truth is, people don't give a damn. And that's the best news of your life. It gives you total freedom to be mediocre at first, to be awkward, to be abnormal in the eyes of some, just so you can end up being brilliant. There's also this thing I call the spectator syndrome. We spend our days scrolling, watching others live, commenting on their lives. We become experts on other people's lives while being tourists in our own. One day I realized I knew more about some YouTubers' morning routine than my own goals. I cut everything off for a week. The silence was unbearable at first, but that's when my own voice came back. Stop giving your attention away for free to people who don't even know you exist. Reclaim that energy and invest it in yourself. Finally, never forget that your environment dictates your mental temperature. If you hang out with 4 people who doubt everything, you will be the 5th. If you hang out with people who take risks, you'll end up doing the same. Sometimes the greatest proof of self-confidence isn't speaking loud. It's knowing how to say no to a circle that drags you down. It's about filtering. It's hard, it hurts, but it's vital. Confidence is invisible training. It's what you do when no one is watching. It's your internal dialogue when you miss your bus, when you wake up, when you see your reflection in a window. Don't look for the big night where you'll suddenly wake up confident. Look for the small victories. A question asked, a straight back, a compliment accepted without blushing. This is how you step out of the shadows. Not all at once, but step by step. And remember, you are not abnormal. You are just under construction. The invisible cost, the fear tax. But wait, because there's something no one tells you. They tell you confidence is a plus, a bonus for success. That's false. Confidence is a matter of survival. Because every day you stay in the shadows out of fear of being too much, you're paying a tax. An invisible tax that is bankrupting you. You pay with the connections you don't make. You pay with the career opportunities that go to guys less competent than you, but who had the guts to raise their hand. You pay with the memories you'll never have. My opinion, regret is 1,000 times heavier to carry than failure. Failure stings for a night. Regret rots you until your last breath. Imagine yourself at 80 years old. You look back. Will you say, "Thank God I didn't speak up that day in class"? Will you say, "Phew, I'm glad I didn't talk to that person I liked. I might have looked silly"? Of course not. You're going to hate that past version of yourself who was afraid of other people's shadows. If this message hits home, share this video with a friend who is slowly fading away. You could be their wake-up call. I've seen talented people, geniuses, end up bitter, trapped in jobs they hate, simply because they never dared to open the door of their own cage. They got used to the bars. They told themselves, "That's not for me." Listen to me, the world owes you nothing. If you don't go after what you want, no one is going to serve it to you on a silver platter. We live in a jungle, and in this jungle, the one who doesn't show their teeth ends up being eaten by those who scream the loudest, even if they're empty inside. So the next time you hesitate, ask yourself, what is the price if I don't do it? Not the price of the risk, but the price of quitting. That's when you realize that staying still is actually the most dangerous choice you can make. Step out of your bubble. Your comfort zone is a graveyard where nothing grows. Confidence is built in discomfort when your hands get sweaty. Talk to a stranger, ask a question in public. Today's anxiety is tomorrow's strength. Confidence isn't a finish line, it's a daily brawl. And never forget, you are not abnormal. We all go through this. The only difference is those who decide to step out of the dark. By the way, if you want physical armor that matches your new mindset, check out the video right here. I'll see you there.